Alright, so I decided to make a video on showing you how to use the calculator for each of the four functions in this unit. Because in this unit, you're going to have four different types of functions that you're going to need to know how to use. And so I thought I'd make a video kind of exampling each one, so that way you have something to go off of. Because I know using the calculator can be confusing with all the buttons and stuff like that. So I thought I'd show y'all an example of each of the functions from our notes. So the first one that we're going to be doing is how to calculate a confidence interval for a proportion. And so this is what we did on, I believe, Tuesday. So I just wanted to give you an example from the notes. Now, calculate a confidence interval for a proportion. The steps to get to it on your calculator are you hit the stat button and then tests, and then you scroll all the way down to option A, one prop Z int. And the reason it's called one prop Z, prop stands for proportion. So you have one proportion that you were given, and you are going to be using this function right here. Now, things you can use this for: a fraction. That fraction could be comprised of makes and misses, hits and misses, things like that. So let's look at an example here. This is from the notes. It says, Kobe Bryant, after his first two games of the 2009-2010 regular season, NBA star Kobe Bryant of the LA Lakers had taken 45 shot attempts and made 17. So anytime I'm reading this data, what I want to do is I want to underline any important information. So he attempted 45 shots and he made 17 of them. So part A says, what is your best guess of Kobe's ability to make a shot in the 2009-2010 regular season? So what we know is that he made 17 out of 45, and that's all the data we have. So all we can do is that we can say our best guess is that his ability is 17 out of 45, which is, if I go over here, 17 divided by 45 is 0.37 repeating. So 0.377, I'll just round it up to 8. So 37.78%. So we know that his ability is about 37.78%. Now, the whole reason behind this unit is that over time, this number can change, right? At the beginning of the year, he might make 3 out of 3 and his ability is 100%. And then the next game, he might go 0 for 3 or 0 for 10 or whatever, and it'd be 0%. So it fluctuates over time. The more data we get, though, the closer to their ability we are, right? Well, instead of trying to estimate his ability just based on one number, what we're doing is we're creating an interval of numbers, saying that we are 95% confident that his ability is between these two numbers that we create. And so that's what these functions help us do. They help us find this interval of values that we believe his ability truly lies. And so the first one is if we are just given one proportion. One proportion is 17 out of 45. And so what we're going to do, part B, it says calculate a 95% confidence interval for Kobe's ability to make a shot in the 2009-2010 regular season. So this is where we actually create our interval. So we think his ability is about 37.78%. But we're going to create an interval so we are more confident. Because whenever you're thinking of this, you're thinking, well, instead of putting all my eggs in one basket, so to speak, and saying that his ability is 37.78, it might be slightly off of that. So we're going to create an interval of values to help us better estimate what his ability actually is. And so the way we do that, we've got 17 made shots, 45 total attempts. So in our calculator, remember, we're going to be doing this function, stat tests option A. So I'm going to go stat, go over to tests, and then go down to option A. Right here, one prop Z int. And I choose that. And it's asking what is my X, what is my N, and what is my C level. So the X is just the number of made shots he had. So number of made shots was 17. The N is the number of total attempts, so that'll be 45. And then the confidence level for the entire unit, we are just doing a 95% confidence interval. So you can just leave it as 0.95. So my X is 17. My N is 45. Leave confidence level alone at 0.95, and then I hit calculate. And it's going to give me a range of values. So it's telling me right here, it says P with the little hat on top. It tells me his proportion. That's what we calculated right here. Okay, that's what we calculated right there. And then N is just sample size, by the way. Anytime you see the letter N, it's just your sample size. And then up at the very top, it's giving us this interval of values. So 0.2361, I'll just finish it at 4 decimals, to 0.5194. So what we were saying, because this is a 95% confidence interval, we are saying that we are 95% sure that Kobe's ability to make a shot is somewhere between 23.61% and 51.94%. So that is how you calculate a confidence interval if you are just giving one proportion.